Hey guys, it's Mr. Rysz, and we're going to start the third day of Activity 312. Today we're going to go over Part 7 and Parts 8. So Part 7 is going to be submittable on Ripple, and Part 8 is a quiz we will take on Canvas. So let's start with Part 7 here, the Boolean conditions and logical operations in Python. Sounds crazy, but it's really not. All right, so conditionals are, you've seen and used a number of conditional statements in other programming environments. The simplest form of a conditional statement or selection statement is the if statement. The if statement is a binary selection because it only has two possible outputs. Either it is true or it isn't true. So we'd only had two events there. We've used if-else statements to make decisions throughout other programs in this course. And a quick example is something like, all right, if X is the input of a number, if X was less than 10, we'd print too low, else we'd print too high. Don't worry about creating this conditional py file here. We're going to do everything on Ripple, so we don't need to save anything extra. So anytime you see where it says like make a py file, you guys don't have to do that. So I'm just copying back from what was last year. All right. We can also use an else if conditional in Python that's called an elif. They just combine the words else and if. Using specific variable name and using the elif code might look something like this, where X equals input, pick a number. If X is less than 10, print too low. And then we have this elif, which stands for else if X is equal to 10, print exactly 10, and then else print 10. So how does this code work? Well, how the code works first is we get a number from the user, we save that as X. The first thing it does is check to see like if that number was less than 10, then we'd print it. If that was true, we'd skip the rest. If it isn't true, we're then going to check like, well, okay, that number wasn't less than 10. Was it equal to 10? If that was true, we'll print exactly 10. And if that's, we'll skip the rest if that was true. And then if that wasn't true, what we're gonna do then is just print too high. So what we're going to do here is think about our own original code. Think of an example that uses if, elif, and else conditional. So we have to think of a scenario where we'd have like 3 different outputs. So is there like a time you can think of where you could have one of 3 choices to make? Okay, so I'm thinking like buying like a movie ticket. Like you either pay, like there's a kid's fee, or you pay the normal fee, or if you're really old, you pay an adult fee. So we can figure out based on their age what 3 categories they go into. So let's start this up. We can say like age equals input. How old are you? All right, and then since we're actually going to do some math with that age in Python, we need to turn that into an integer. So age equals integer of age. We could have nested this as well, but I always like to keep them separate. In case I make a mistake, I can then look just at one single line of code to fix. All right, so now let's make our if statement. Like if age is less than 18, colon, what do we want to say? Like print, you pay a child's fee. All right. So we're going to tap back and now we're going to put an elif. So, okay, now let's think of another age. Well, so these are going to be for people who are not. So, okay, people who are older than 18. Well, maybe we'll see like if age is greater than 65, we can print you pay the senior fee. Okay. And then we'll tap back and we'll add an else statement here. And else, you don't need to put any condition or anything, just else. Else what? Print, you pay the normal fee. So let's run this and test this out. So ask how old are you? Let's try to get all 3 scenarios in here. So I'm gonna pick, you know, if I was 12, you pay a child's fee. How old are you? I'll pick somebody that's older than 12, like we'll pick like 20. You pay the normal fee. And then we'll pick somebody who's really old, 88. You pay the senior fee. So we double check that off. So go ahead, submit that on Ripple, and I will view that and grade that, and we can move on to the next thing. Next part is a quiz over Booleans. So let's go ahead and preview and then get this started. So remember, the instructions are mixed in between. So as we've learned in previous programming language, Boolean values are also used in conditionals. In Python, the Boolean data has only two possible conditions. It's either true or false. So note the capitalization here. True has to be capital T and false has to be capital F. In Python, Boolean values must start with a capital letter or the program will not recognize them as keywords. So let's review the code before, and for each line of code, we're going to predict what the outcome would be. So we can also test this out, and we have a tester down here if we want to double check our answers here. So if we want to figure out, okay, what's print false, I could just copy that in here and run it. Don't freeze on me. I already recorded this video halfway through and it froze on me. Okay, we get false. All right, so yeah, print false gives us false. All right. We can double check this one, and then after this, I think we can kind of take our best guesses here. Or if you wanted to go through everything. Ooh. Print 5, it's equal 4. So does 5 equal 4? It's going to figure out whether that is a true statement or not. This computer's taking a lot longer than I think it would normally. I think something's going on with the internet today. I stop that. Well, anywho, let's run it and we'll double check down later. So that would be false. 5 does not equal 4. All right, print 2 plus 6 equals 8. Does 2 plus 6 equal 8? It sure does, true. Print 4 exclamation point equal 5. If we have exclamation point, that means not equal to. So does 4 not equal 5? That is true. Print 4 less than 4. Is 4 less than 4? No, it is not. That's false. And then print 4 greater than equal to 4. So is 4 greater than or equal to 4? It is. This run yet? No, still thinking. All right, I'm just going to stop that. All right, so in Python, Boolean values represent the number 1 or 0. That's how it just works logically. If you know anything about the history of programming, everything works with 1s and 0s. So a 1 is true and a 0 is false. So if you were to say false plus true equal false, you're asking, okay, does 0 plus 1 equal 0? Okay, so we're going to try to figure these answers out here using that statement here. Does true plus false equal true? Does 1 plus 0 equal 1? It does. That's true. Does false plus false equal true? Does 0 plus 0 equal true? No, it doesn't. Does 0 plus 1 plus 0 equal true? So remember, true is 1. So does 1 equal 1? Sure does. Does 0 plus 0 equal false? Yes, it does. Does 1 plus 1 equal 0? No, it doesn't. All right, you guys can submit the quiz. Hopefully you do all right on it. Got a 2 out of 2. So that wraps up the third day here. We're taking it nice and easy so everybody can get caught up. We do have a project coming up after day 4, and we'll show you guys then. All right, you guys have a great day. I'll see you next time.